that video. When is the Final Fantasy? Keep an eye out for the Final Fantasy video.
Not interested.
It's gonna be a while.
Soon that video comes on. I promise it's coming.
Why haven't I made it yet?
Promise, dude. Just give me some
promise,
time.
like it's gonna be soon.
It's time. Final Fantasy! Before we begin, you might think that who is this guy trying to make a hit piece on my favorite franchise of all time? Well, let me introduce myself. I am XIII, as you already know. I started my journey with Final Fantasy XIII, but in not the way you think. I didn't play the game, I did have a PS3, but I was more interested in the big, strong, pink-haired lady. Yeah. But 13 is the reason I was aware of the franchise in the first place, right? Because it just looks cool, I mean, just look at this. But what really got me into it is 15. Dude, I have so many thoughts on FF15 that I might actually just make a separate video for it. If you want that to happen, leave a comment and let me know. FF15 instantly pulled me in with the modern fantasy thing that they were going for. Everything just clicked for me. And when I was playing all the vistas, all the characters, the banter between the four guys, it was just, the boy band party might just be the best party Final Fantasy has ever seen in my opinion. But we're not gonna get into the details of FF15 just yet. I'm planning on making a separate video for it, I think. I already asked you guys, but I think I've already decided at this point. At the time, right, when I was getting into FF15, most of what I was expecting was either like some anime tropes, some good music, and essentially just a good story, right? Because that's what I've been told what Final Fantasy is. Like, after finishing 15, I was sold on the entire franchise right after credits rolled. I made it my mission to go back and play every single entry, all the way back to 1. And it just so happened to be that the previous entry from 15 was FF14. Okay, let me be honest. FF14 unironically saved me, because it entered my life at such a time where we were just locked in our houses with nothing to do but look at a screen. And I saw that as a good chance to warm up to MMOs again, because my past with MMOs isn't that good because I'm mainly a controller player. See, I will come back to this, but this game might just have the best controller scheme for an MMO ever. I don't understand how anyone plays this game with a keyboard. This is goated. Going through this game, I actually discovered why people like MMOs so much. I did not know it was that social of a space. Never in my life, like, I've ever met someone in an MMO game and they have become an integral part of my life. Everything with this game was a first for me. And dude, I didn't even get to the best part. This game has the best and the worst Final Fantasy stories of all time. Controversial opinion, I think Realm Reborn all the way up to Stormblood is a snooze fest. It's just plain boring. I know people like to defend Heavensward, but I think that's largely because of nostalgia, because as a new player back in 2020, I played through it, right? And the base expansion is nothing to call home about. Only the patch quests. The patch quests were pretty damn good. Like, I'm a fan of dragons, okay? You had me at dragons. I don't care about this, none of these like crown politics or whatever the fuck that goes on in Ishgard. I really don't care about that. But again, that's personal preference. But when you hit the point in Stormblood patch quests where you go to the empty and the story starts picking up and you see returning characters, hello guys, where are you in the story, hello? And then the patch quests end, you're left with nothing to do and you just want to like go home, right? You just want to go home. You just want to go home. Shadowbringers might just be the best piece of Final Fantasy story that's available in the entire franchise. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. Emmett Selk, to begin with, Emmett Selk is literally the most well-written villain in the entirety of the FF franchise. I'm not taking any arguments on this. Sephiroth is cool as fuck. okay? But he's just an empty canvas. He has no motivations other than, my mother shall have this planet. Okay, bro, what else? Without going too much into detail, because I'm not here to review the story. I'm here to go over the story and go over some subjects and then get into detail on some specific things. Like right after Shadowbringers, right? The Shadowbringers patch quests felt like an entire expansion with how detailed they were. And right after that came Endwalker. Endwalker, I think it's like, I don't think it can stand on its own because it's one of the expansions where it feels very, very connected to Shadowbringers at a point where you can even consider it Shadowbringers Part 2. Because none of the other expansions, right, connect directly to the previous events. They always really feel isolated in their region, and they start and they end in their respective regions, and you just like solve the problem and hey, Warrior of Light, yeah! That's how it goes usually. But with Endwalker, it was everything being tied together. Although like it has been like 10 years of this story, of course everything's gonna like tie together and feel complete. I get that. This will become relevant when I'm talking about Dawn Trail, by the way. Don't give me that bullshit about they're building things up again. No, they aren't. That's like the worst thing. We'll come back to that. Endwalker, in my opinion, characterized the Ancients and the Ascians perfectly, and the story beats that the expansion had, it almost really felt like it had its climax 3 times over. Although I remember the dev team saying something like, we added the patch quests into the expansion, so there's no waiting and the entire story can be done in one fell swoop. I think that's why Zodiark was level 87, right? Was it level 87? Was it level 82? I remember what Zodiark was really early in the story. And the raid tiers were actually lore consistent as well, right up until the last tier. The last tier was just not good in my opinion. See, there's one consistent pattern with all Final Fantasy expansions up until that point, right? They all follow the theme of the expansion to the T, and they're all consistent within their own bubble. Which brings me to Dawn Trail. I don't know how one manages to turn big hero turn mentor storyline bad, but here we are. But in this expansion, we're supposed to be on the back burner while Lamat is supposed to be on the forefront, because she's the one that needs to win the throne. And this isn't to say, by the way, oh no, why am I not the center of attention, man? I wanted to be the center of attention. No, that's not it. We are portrayed as the nuclear option several times in the story, which I like. I mean, our previous achievements aren't for nothing. We really are that strong. In Endwalker, when she first arrives in Old Charlian, she was fine, right? She was very endearing even. I even liked her. But in Dawn Trail, the moment we enter the expansion, she's like an entirely different person. Okay, way to not review the stories then. Like all throughout the story, we're supposed to be the one that helps Lamat and the one that mentors Lamat, right? But she's never really shown to have any character development or learns from her mistakes at all. Which turns the expansion story into a broken record in my opinion. How is it that the story keeps showing us the same cycles that Lamat seems to have and not learn anything, and in the end it just all works out for her? What kind of story are we trying to tell here? Because here's the thing, right? You buy a Final Fantasy expansion for different things. Everyone has their different tastes, okay? But for me, the majority is the story. I don't skip anything. And this is the first time I was actually tempted to press that skip button. Thing is, right, from the start of Final Fantasy XIV, the entire POV was from me. My events, my consequences, my actions. And suddenly, it's someone else. And I'm like in the background being a mentor. Cool, different perspective, right? Something to refresh after like 10 years, which is welcome in my eyes. But the way they went about it is anything but mentoring. It's just, I just watched a girl stumble her way into leading a nation, and she's not even fit to lead. Now here's the thing. If the story did not pull me in, surely the aesthetics would at least, like Stormblood for example. But no! Would you like Jungle 1, Jungle 2, or Jungle 3? This time in purple. Look, I understand this is supposed to be like the exotic vacation for the Warrior of Light and the Scions, but oops, all jungles is not what I was expecting. And with that, Final Fantasy just essentially lost me after keeping me in the game for like 4 straight years every day, by the way. I just unsubbed. Because nothing Dawntrail did actually just held me in the game. Because if the aesthetics do not appeal to me, if the story does not grip me, you just won't find me there. Like, aside from everything I've said, the combat content has been nothing short of amazing, by the way. They finally stopped treating their players like babies, sort of. And since we're level 100 now, the dungeons and the trials were a smidge harder than what they were in the previous expansion, or going even far back the entire game, probably. This is good that they're taking feedback from the Endwalker combat content, which was essentially just hitting a striking dummy while dodging the bat every now and then. There was no real mechanics, other than top. I hate top. But no matter how good you make the actual combat content or anything that appeals to the casuals or something else, in my opinion, right, if the aesthetic isn't gotten right with a Final Fantasy, the other merits will not stand on their own. Like, as I said before, Endwalker did not have the best combat content, but it was connected to the lore, it looked cool, and overall, the story and the feel of the expansion was complete. It was robust. You know what I mean by that? Because I still haven't talked about Solution 9. I do get that this expansion is sorta kinda is supposed to be something of a reference to FF9. I just do not think they did FF9 justice. Because instead of Solution 9 being this big thing, right? I think Alexandria and the entire 9th Shard could have been a thing we could explore. Why did we waste all this time in Tural? Why did we waste all this precious time still in the source? They have proven themselves that when they go to an entirely new world with an entirely new cast with some returning faces, that they can pull off an amazing story. An amazing story! But they tried it in the worst way possible in this expansion. They tried to give us a new world with a new cast, and then they tried to like tug on our heartstrings by doing the same thing that Shadowbringers and Endwalker did 2 times already, and Endwalker did it with our own party. How much further can you even go? Overall, Dawntrail felt like someone copying the homework of Shadowbringers and Endwalker's writers. They did this here. What if we copy that and put it here? Surely the players will like it, because that's what makes a good expansion story, right? Aside from that, I could go on about Dawntrail for like the next 10 to 20 minutes. I haven't even talked about the combat system. I haven't even talked about the other big glaring issues that this game has had for the past 10 years and still hasn't been solved. Although you're just gonna have to wait for part 2 for that one. I still love the game to bits, but if it doesn't catch my attention by the next expansion, I am probably out for the foreseeable future. I still want this game to do well. I still want this game to succeed, and I still want this game to come back from the rut it's in. Because I don't think Dawntrail is the best they can do. I don't think this is the standard that they want to hold this game to. Because I know I've said that from Realm Reborn to Stormblood is a snooze fest, there were still profound stories with profound themes. They made you think. They made you debate on things. They had you at the edge of your seat in suspense at some moments. Dawntrail does none of that. It tries to pull on past nostalgia, failing miserably, and it cheapens the whole emotional moments that we've had in Shadowbringers and Endwalker by trying to pull the same thing in Dawntrail. I still have belief that CBU3 will turn the ship around, but honestly, after all the memories I've made in this game and all the fun I've had, I'd rather have them do it sooner than later. Most of the players have already left the game. The game is in the lowest state it has ever been, disregarding 1.0 of course. I just do not think this game deserves this. And I'm not about to watch my favorite franchise and my favorite game in the franchise go down the drain.
You got it, Mr. Sin? Oh, what? 1 HP, by the way. Did you fall life?
No!
Chili, where'd you stop? Where'd you drop the mic?
What? Oh no!
Fucking damn it! Fucking no! Oh shit! Oh my god! Come on.
Come on, please. I beg you, man.
Please!
Good! Oh my...
Really helping?
She's dead on my screen.
Really helping?
Oh my god, he's good.
All this content I've done in the past few years, as you can probably tell from the mic quality from these past clips, I love them. The adrenaline, the time spent, the friendships forged and the friendships lost, I cherish them all. As a community, we all should speak up so CBU3 hears us, Square Enix hears us. Otherwise, we will get another Dawntrail and the game will not recover from it this time. And with that, we're out of time. So if you enjoyed this video, please press subscribe and hit that bell button and press the like button. And if you want to catch some streams, press the follow button on my Twitch page. And I'll see you guys when I'll see you guys. This is Sin signing off. Thanks for watching.